Have you ever wanted to say something in English, but the words got stuck in your throat? You knew the right phrase, you had practiced it many times, yet when the moment came, your mind went blank. Your heart started beating fast, your palms became sweaty, and suddenly your confidence disappeared. You wanted to speak, but fear spoke first. It said, "Don't. You'll make mistakes. People will laugh." And so you stayed silent. Maybe you smiled, maybe you nodded, but deep inside you felt small, invisible, and disappointed. If that sounds familiar, you are not broken. You are human. Every learner who has ever tried to speak another language has felt the same fear. But here's the truth, the fear you feel is not about English. It's about judgment. It's about the voice in your head that says you are not good enough. That voice lies. It's not protecting you. It's holding you prisoner. Today, we start learning how to silence it. Imagine this, you are standing on a small stage. There are people in front of you. They are waiting for you to speak. Your legs are shaking. Your breath is shallow. And yet, you take a deep breath and say your first English word. For one moment, the world stops. You hear your own voice. It's not perfect, but it's real. That moment, that sound, is the beginning of freedom. Because when you speak, even imperfectly, you break the chains that fear built around your mind. You see, fear doesn't disappear by waiting. It disappears by walking through it. Every time you speak, even with mistakes, you teach your brain that nothing bad happens. You survive. You grow. The next time it gets easier. Speaking English is not about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to start. Let's make it simple. Your first goal is not fluency. Your first goal is comfort. Comfort with trying. Comfort with making mistakes. Comfort with your own voice. When you stop fighting fear and start speaking despite it, English becomes not a test, but a bridge. A bridge to new people, new dreams, and a new you. Here's a small exercise. Stand up wherever you are. Take one deep breath. Now say softly, "I can speak English. My English is growing every day." Say it again, slower, clearer. Feel your breath. Feel your voice. You are training your body to believe what your mind doubts. This is how confidence begins. Not with grammar, not with rules, but with breath and courage. So tonight, when you close your eyes, remember this. Every time you open your mouth in English, even for one sentence, you are winning. You are building a new part of yourself. You are becoming someone fearless. And soon, speaking English will not feel like fear, it will feel like freedom. When you start to speak English, the first voice you hear is not your real voice. It is the voice of fear. It whispers, "You sound strange." It says, "Your accent is wrong." It laughs softly and reminds you of every mistake you ever made. This voice lives in your mind like an old echo. It was born from years of being judged, corrected, or laughed at. Maybe a teacher once told you, "That's not right." Maybe a classmate giggled when you spoke. Maybe you compared yourself to someone fluent and felt small. But you see, that voice isn't the truth. It's only a memory of pain that your brain plays again and again, thinking it keeps you safe. To speak English without fear, you must learn to talk louder than that voice. You must create a new sound inside yourself, the sound of kindness. Every time fear says, "You're bad at this," you answer, "I'm learning." When it says, "You sound funny," you answer, "That's my progress." When it says, "People will laugh," you whisper, "Let them. I'm growing." This is how transformation begins. It's not by fighting fear, but by speaking over it, calmly, gently, repeatedly, until your brain starts believing a new story. Think of your brain like a radio. For years, it has been tuned to the station of doubt. Every time you try to speak, that noise of "I can't" starts playing. But you have the power to change the channel. Every morning, tune it to a new frequency, the frequency of confidence. Before you check your phone, say one sentence in English. Today, I speak with courage. Say it while brushing your teeth. Say it while putting on your shoes. Small words, simple moments. Yet they train your mind to see English not as danger, but as a friend. Let me share something that many learners discover too late. Your pronunciation improves faster when you stop judging yourself. Because when you relax, your muscles relax. When you stop worrying about mistakes, your tongue moves naturally. Fear makes your body stiff. Confidence makes it free. That's why children learn faster. They play with words. They don't care if they're wrong. They laugh, they repeat, they try again. You can do the same. Here's a little exercise for today. Choose one sentence you love in English. Maybe it's from a song, a movie, or something simple like, "I am getting better." Say it 10 times with feeling. Don't focus on grammar. Focus on emotion. Smile when you say it. Let the sound become part of you. That's not practice. That's healing. Each time you do this, you are rewriting your inner language. You are teaching your brain that English is not something to fear, but something that belongs to you. And one day, you will wake up, speak a sentence, and realize the trembling is gone. The fear didn't leave suddenly. It melted away, one kind word at a time. Do you know what happens inside your body when you feel fear while speaking English? Your breath becomes short. Your heart beats faster. Your voice starts to shake. It's not because you forgot the words. It's because your body thinks you're in danger. Your mind doesn't see English as a language. It sees it as a threat. That's why no matter how many grammar books you read, your tongue still freezes when someone asks you a simple question. But here's the secret. You can't speak freely if you can't breathe freely. Calm breath is the foundation of calm speech. Before you learn new words, learn to breathe. When you start speaking and your chest feels tight, stop. Take one slow, deep breath through your nose. Feel the air fill your lungs. Then exhale slowly, like you're releasing fear with each breath. When you do this, your brain sends a message to your body, "I am safe." Only then can your voice come out strong and clear. Breathing is not just air. It's trust. It's the quiet message you give to yourself. I belong here. I can speak. Let's try it together. Sit or stand straight. Place your hand on your chest. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 2, exhale for 6. As you breathe out, say softly, "I'm okay." Do it 3 times. Feel your body slow down. Now say one English sentence, any sentence. Maybe, "I like learning English," or "I'm growing every day." Feel how your voice sounds calmer, deeper, more natural. That's the power of breathing. Turns fear into rhythm. When you make this a daily habit, your brain begins to connect English with peace, not panic. You start to enjoy the sound of your own voice. You stop worrying about how you look or what others think. You begin to listen to yourself, and that is where confidence begins. Not from outside praise, but from inner balance. Think about how singers practice. They don't just sing, they train their breath. They know that breath carries emotion. It's the invisible bridge between the heart and the words. You can use that same bridge. Every time you speak English, breathe through your fear. Imagine each word floating on your breath, traveling easily into the air. And remember, you don't have to speak fast. Slow English is strong English. When you slow down, your mind has time to think. Your words have time to live. Speed hides fear. Silence shows control. So instead of rushing to finish a sentence, pause, smile, breathe, and continue. That pause is not weakness. It's power. Here's your action step for today. Choose 5 moments when you will speak slowly and consciously. Maybe saying good morning to someone, ordering food, or talking to yourself in the mirror. Focus not on the words, but on your breath. Let every inhale remind you that you are capable, and every exhale remind you that you are safe. The more you breathe with awareness, the softer fear becomes. Your voice stops trembling. Your body remembers calmness. And little by little, you stop fighting English. You start living it. Now that your breath is calm, it's time to face the next shadow, the fear of mistakes. Every English learner knows it. You open your mouth, you say a word, and then you hear yourself. The sentence isn't perfect. The grammar is strange. Someone frowns, or maybe no one even notices, but inside you feel that small sting of shame. You think, I should be better by now, and that single thought begins to close your throat again. But listen carefully. Mistakes are not your enemies. They are your teachers wearing funny clothes. Every time you make a mistake, your brain learns something new. It doesn't happen through fear. It happens through repetition. You see, when a baby learns to walk, it falls again and again. Nobody laughs. Nobody says, you're terrible at walking. The baby stands up, tries again, and one day it runs. Learning English is exactly the same. Falling down is not failure, it is progress in disguise. The only true mistake is silence. I want you to imagine your mistakes as music. Every wrong word, every strange pronunciation, every missing S at the end of a verb. All of it is rhythm. It's the sound of you becoming fluent. When you start hearing it this way, your fear turns into curiosity. You stop asking, was that correct? And start asking, what can I learn from that? That question changes everything. Takes you from shame to growth, from fear to freedom. Let me tell you a story. There was a young woman named Hannah who wanted to speak English at work. Her job was in a hotel, and she met travelers from around the world. Every time she spoke, she made small mistakes. Sometimes guests corrected her. Sometimes they didn't understand. One day, a guest from Canada smiled and said, "Your English is cute." First, she felt embarrassed. Later that night, she realized something. He still understood her. The world didn't end. And that realization changed her life. She started speaking more, laughing at her errors, learning new words from guests. In 3 months, her English sounded warm, confident, alive. Not perfect, better than perfect. It was real. Here's something powerful to remember. People don't fall in love with your grammar. They fall in love with your energy. They remember your kindness, your smile, your effort. Even if your English is broken, your heart can still speak clearly. So instead of saying, "My English is bad," start saying, "My English is growing." One word changes everything. Here's your practice for today. Choose one mistake you often make. Maybe you forget the past tense, or you confuse in and on. Write that mistake on a piece of paper. Then, next to it, write 3 correct examples. Read them out loud. Smile while you read. Each time you do this, your brain rewires itself. Soon, that mistake will become your strength. You don't need to be perfect to be proud. You just need to keep going, keep trying, keep singing your mistakes like a song that only you can write. When you start treating mistakes as music, English stops being a battle. It becomes a dance. a gentle rhythm between learning and living. Once you stop fearing mistakes, something magical begins to happen. You start wanting to talk. Not to perform, not to impress, but simply to connect. And that is where true fluency lies. Fluency is not the ability to speak perfectly for 10 minutes. It's the ability to say something simple in a real moment without fear. A smile, a greeting, a short answer. These small conversations are the seeds of confidence. Many learners wait for big chances, a job interview, a foreign trip, a presentation. But confidence is not built in big moments. It's built in small ones, repeated quietly every day. Saying good morning to a colleague in English, asking for directions, ordering coffee, saying thank you to a stranger. Every short exchange is a brick in the wall of your fluency. The more you use your English in real life, the stronger your voice becomes. Think of your English like a muscle. You can't build it by reading about exercise. You build it by moving. Each small conversation is like a push-up for your courage. The first one feels heavy, but the more you do, the easier it becomes. Soon your words begin to flow, not because you memorize them, but because your mouth remembers the movement. Here's something to try. Today, make 3 small English connections. Greet someone online in English. Write a short comment on a video or post. Ask one small question at work, in class, or to a friend. Don't worry if it's simple. How are you today? Nice weather. I like your shoes. Every word you speak out loud is a victory against silence. These are not just sentences. They are training sessions for your confidence. When you start doing this, you'll notice something subtle. People respond kindly. Most don't care about your accent or grammar. They see your courage. They see your effort. Humans recognize sincerity faster than perfection. The moment you speak honestly, your message is understood, even if the words are not exact. And sometimes, these small talks grow into something beautiful. A short hello becomes a 5-minute chat. A simple question turns into a new friendship. Soon, English stops being a task on your list. It becomes part of your social world, part of your daily rhythm. Remember, you don't have to wait to feel ready. Readiness is built through action. Imagine your fear as a wall of glass. Every small conversation is a soft tap on that glass. Tap once, nothing changes. Tap again, a small crack appears. Keep tapping. One day the wall shatters and you step into freedom. Here's your nightly reflection. Before you sleep, replay your day. Ask yourself, did I use English even once? If you did, celebrate it. If you didn't, plan one chance for tomorrow. This is how confidence grows, not in leaps, but in gentle, steady steps. Each time you choose to speak, you are building a bridge between your world and the world of others. And with every bridge you build, English becomes not a language of fear, but a language of connection. As you begin to speak more in small conversations, something changes deep inside your mind. You start noticing the rhythm of English, not just the words, but the sound, the feeling, the flow. You realize English isn't only grammar and vocabulary. It's music. Every language has its own melody, and once you hear it, speaking becomes easier, more natural, almost like dancing. When people struggle to speak English, it's often because they are still thinking in their native rhythm. Their words are correct, but their mind moves differently. It's like trying to sing one song while another plays in your head. The solution isn't more grammar. It's more listening. You need to fill your ears with the melody of real English, the way people pause, the way they stress words, the way emotion lives in tone. Think of it like this. Before a dancer performs, They listen to the music first. They learn its beat, its tempo. You can do the same with English. When you listen daily, not to study, but to feel, your brain begins to copy the patterns naturally. Soon, sentences start flowing out of you with rhythm, not from memory, but from instinct. Here's an exercise for you. Every day, choose one short video, podcast, or even a movie scene. Listen carefully. Don't write anything yet. Just let the sounds wash over you. Then, repeat 1 or 2 sentences out loud. Copy the tone, the pauses, the emotion. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. Focus on how it feels. This is how children learn, through sound, not rules. When you do this, your mouth and ears start working together. Your pronunciation improves without effort. You begin to feel the heartbeat of English. Soon you'll notice that your sentences sound smoother. Your confidence grows because your body remembers the rhythm even when your mind forgets the words. Let me tell you about Diego, a taxi driver from Brazil. He loved English songs but never studied formally. Every day during his rides, he played English music. He sang along, copying the rhythm and sound. Months passed, and without realizing it, he started understanding his passengers from other countries. One day, a tourist said, "Your English sounds great." Diego smiled and said, "I just sing a lot." That's the power of rhythm. It teaches without pressure. English is not a mountain you climb once. It's a river you flow with. You don't conquer it. You move with it. And like water, it becomes clear only when you stop forcing it. The more relaxed you are, the easier your words come out. Here's what you can do tonight. Before bed, listen to something short in English, a story, a podcast, even a song. Close your eyes. Don't analyze. Just breathe and feel the sounds. Let English become the background music of your dreams. The next morning, when you speak, notice how much smoother it feels. The rhythm of English is not outside you. It's already waiting inside you, hidden under fear. And once you learn to listen deeply, fear becomes silent, and your true voice begins to sing. When you begin to hear the rhythm of English, the next natural step is to start thinking in it. Not translating, not repeating, but thinking. This is the bridge between understanding and fluency. You see, fear often enters in the space between languages, that short pause when your mind translates a thought before you speak. In that pause, doubt sneaks in. Is this right? Will they understand me? What if I make a mistake? But when you think directly in English, there is no pause, no door for fear to enter. The words move straight from your heart to your mouth. Thinking in English doesn't mean forgetting your first language. It means building a small room in your mind where English can live comfortably. In that room, your thoughts don't need to be perfect. They just need to be alive. You can start small. When you wake up, describe your morning in simple English sentences. I am getting up. I'm opening the window. It's cold today. Do this silently in your head or whisper softly. At first it feels slow, but soon your brain starts switching languages smoothly, without pain. Another powerful way to train your thinking is to ask yourself small questions in English during the day. What do I want for lunch? How do I feel right now? What am I doing next? Each tiny question teaches your brain to think without translation. You are not studying. You are living in English. And the more you live it, the more natural it becomes. Let's make this clear. Fluency is not about speed. It's about flow. Even native speakers pause, hesitate, and search for words. What makes them sound confident is that their pauses are calm. They trust their words will come. You can do the same. When you stop judging yourself, your brain starts helping you. It begins connecting ideas faster, finding the right words almost magically. Here's a small practice. When you walk outside, look around and name what you see in English: tree, car, sky, light. Then make tiny sentences. The tree is tall. The sky looks soft. You are not doing grammar drills. You are teaching your senses to speak English. It's like turning your daily life into a classroom without walls. Soon, English stops being something you study and becomes something you feel. You start dreaming in it, joking in it, even thinking about your problems in it. It becomes a second voice in your mind, not louder than your first, just kinder. And that kindness is what kills fear. Because when you think in English, you stop performing. You start being. You're no longer a student pretending to speak. You're a person living in another language. That's the moment when you truly begin to speak English without fear. Not because the fear disappears, but because English becomes part of who you are. When you begin to think and feel in English, something powerful awakens, the quiet strength of consistency. It's not about learning fast. It's about showing up every day, even when you're tired, even when you don't feel ready. Confidence doesn't come from one big victory. It comes from 1,000 small steps. Every time you listen, every time you repeat, every time you whisper a sentence to yourself, you're building a layer of courage inside you. You might not notice it at first, but it grows. Think of a tree. It doesn't grow because of one day of rain. It grows because of the gentle rhythm of sunlight and water over time. The same is true for your English. You don't need to study for 5 hours once a week. You need 20 minutes every day. That steady rhythm tells your brain, this is part of my life now. The brain loves patterns. It rewards repetition. Each time you practice, the connections in your mind become stronger, and your fear becomes weaker. Let's imagine a learner named Ravi. He used to study in bursts, one week with passion, the next with excuses. His progress was slow, and his confidence went up and down like waves. Then he made a promise, 15 minutes a day, no matter what. Some days he listened while brushing his teeth. Some days he wrote short sentences before bed. Months passed, and something changed. He didn't just improve his English. He trusted himself again. That trust, that's what confidence truly is. Consistency is not about pressure. It's about rhythm. It's like brushing your teeth, eating breakfast, walking to work. You don't debate whether to do it. You just do it. When English becomes one of those natural habits, fear loses its power. You no longer ask, should I practice today? You simply do it because that's who you are. Here's your challenge. Choose one simple English habit that feels easy. Maybe you'll listen to a short podcast every morning. Maybe you'll write 3 sentences in a journal every night. Maybe you'll speak to yourself for 5 minutes while cooking. The habit itself doesn't matter. What matters is keeping it alive. Protect it like a small flame. Don't let excuses blow it out. After a few weeks, you'll notice something subtle. Your voice will sound calmer. Your mind will be quicker. Your sentences will come with less effort. And most importantly, your fear will start to fade. Not because it vanished overnight, but because consistency made it too small to matter. So stop waiting for confidence before you start. Confidence is built by starting again and again, even on the days you feel unsure. Every time you practice, you whisper to your fear, you can stay, but I'm moving forward. And as you keep moving, day after day, English stops being something outside of you. It becomes part of your heartbeat, part of your breath, part of your everyday life. Once you've built the rhythm of daily English, you'll notice something curious. The fear doesn't completely disappear. It still appears before you speak, like a quiet guest knocking on your door. But now, instead of pushing it away, you can use it. Fear, when understood, can become your energy, your fuel. It's the signal that you are about to do something important. It shows up not to stop you, but to prepare you. What you once called weakness is actually strength waiting for direction. Think about every brave moment in your life. You were afraid first. You were afraid before your first exam, before your first interview, before your first hello in English. Yet you still did it. That means fear was never your enemy. It was proof that you cared. People without fear often don't move. But you feel nervous because you're growing. Fear is like the heat that turns raw clay into a strong pot. Without that fire, you stay soft, unfinished. Here's a truth most learners don't realize. Fluent speakers still feel nervous. The difference is they act anyway. They have learned to walk with fear, not against it. When their heart beats faster, they smile and breathe. They say to themselves, "Good, my body is awake. I'm alive. I can use this energy." You can do the same. The shaking hands, the fast heartbeat, that's adrenaline. It's your body giving you extra strength. Don't fight it. Ride it. Try this exercise. Before you speak English, whether in class, online, or to a stranger, pause for 10 seconds. Notice what fear feels like. Maybe your chest feels tight. Maybe your stomach turns. Don't run from it. Breathe in and whisper, "This means I care." Then speak anyway. When you do this often, your brain starts to associate fear with action instead of avoidance. Soon, the fear becomes a familiar friend that reminds you, you're doing something brave. Let's imagine a girl named Lena. She used to freeze every time she had to speak in meetings. One day she decided to face it differently. Instead of hating her fear, she welcomed it. She said to herself, "Hello, fear. Let's go together." That simple thought changed everything. Her voice still trembled, but she spoke. Each time, the trembling grew softer. Eventually, people began to admire her honesty and calmness. Fear didn't leave her. It transformed into power. This is what you must remember. Courage is not the opposite of fear. It is the decision to act while afraid. Every word you say in English while your heart beats fast is proof that you're becoming stronger. That's how bravery is built. In small moments, in shaky voices, in sentences that begin uncertainly but end with pride. Next time you feel fear before speaking English, don't ask, "How do I remove this?" Ask, "How can I use this?" Let it remind you that you're alive, that you're learning, that you're pushing past limits that once defined you. Let your fear be your teacher, your fire, your proof that you are walking the right path. Because real confidence doesn't come when fear disappears. It comes when you realize you can speak beautifully even while fear is standing right beside you. As you learn to turn fear into fuel, there is one more shadow that often follows English learners: the fear of their accent. You know that moment when you speak and someone looks at you differently, maybe confused, maybe surprised? That tiny look can make you want to stay silent forever. But your accent is not a mistake. It is your story carried through sound. It is the echo of where you were born, the rhythm of your first lullaby, the shape of your family's words. You don't need to erase it. You just need to own it. Every person on this planet has an accent. British, Indian, French, Japanese, African, Spanish, these are not barriers. They are colors in the world's voice. You wouldn't tell a sunset it has too much red. So why tell yourself you have too much of your native sound? The goal is not to sound perfect. The goal is to be understood, to be real, to let your message travel beyond the limits of fear. Think of your accent as music. It's a unique melody that others have never heard before. When you speak English with your accent, you're adding something new to the world's song. The problem isn't your accent, it's the shame attached to it. That shame was taught to you, not born in you. Somewhere along the way, someone told you, you must sound like them. But English doesn't belong to one group. It belongs to everyone who speaks it, including you. Imagine walking through a garden. Each flower smells different. You don't compare them, you enjoy their mix. Language is the same. A sentence in English with your voice is a new flower in that garden. Let it bloom. Don't try to copy someone else's sound so much that you lose your own. Clarity is important, yes, practice pronunciation, learn the rhythm, but never trade authenticity for imitation. People feel truth through tone more than through grammar. Here's a small exercise. Record your voice saying a few sentences in English. Listen back not to judge, but to notice. Hear how your words rise and fall. Hear the warmth in your tone. Say to yourself, this is my English. This is my voice. You can always polish your sound, but start from love, not shame. When you speak with pride, your accent becomes beautiful, even powerful. Think of famous people from around the world, Malala from Pakistan, Shakira from Colombia, Arnold Schwarzenegger from Austria. None of them sound native, yet their voices move millions. Why? Because they speak with confidence, emotion, and purpose. Their accents didn't block their message. They made it unforgettable. So next time you hear your voice and think, I sound strange, pause and smile. That sound is you crossing borders, reaching hearts, building bridges. Your accent is proof that you were brave enough to learn another language, that you stepped outside your comfort zone and kept walking. Wear it with pride, because the goal of English is not to sound like someone else. It's to be heard as yourself, clearly, confidently, and without fear. Once you begin to accept your accent as something beautiful, a new door opens, the door of emotion. Many learners try to sound correct, but they forget to sound alive. They focus so much on rules that their words lose warmth. But English is not just a system of grammar. It is a living language, full of feeling, rhythm, and energy. People don't remember perfect sentences. They remember voices that make them feel something. Think of a time when you listened to someone speaking passionately, maybe in your own language. You didn't care about their grammar, did you? You cared about how they made you feel calm, inspired, curious, safe. You can do the same in English. Emotion doesn't need translation. When you speak with real feeling, your heart becomes the dictionary. The listener feels your truth before they understand your words. That's why English spoken with warmth always sounds better than English spoken with fear. The brain connects emotion with memory. If your voice carries passion, people listen. If it carries fear, they turn away. You don't need perfect English to make an impact. You need authentic energy. So when you speak, speak like you mean it. Let your tone rise when you're excited. Let it soften when you're sincere. Smile when your words are kind. Your emotion will carry the message your grammar cannot. Try this small practice. Stand in front of a mirror and say a simple sentence, like, I'm happy to learn English. Now say it again, but this time smile gently, breathe deeply, and imagine you're talking to a friend who truly believes in you. Feel how the sentence changes. The words are the same, but the energy is different, warmer, brighter, more powerful. That's emotion. That's connection. Here's something beautiful. When you speak with emotion, your fluency improves naturally. Why? Because emotion removes hesitation. You stop thinking about correctness and start focusing on meaning. Your sentences flow like conversation instead of calculation. It's like dancing. When you dance with feeling, your steps follow without effort. Let me tell you a story about Omar, a young man from Egypt. He studied English for years but still felt invisible in conversations. One day, during a group discussion, he decided to stop chasing perfect grammar. He spoke about his dream of becoming a filmmaker, using simple words but strong feeling. His voice shook a little, but his eyes shone. When he finished, the room was silent. Not because he made mistakes, but because his words touched hearts. That was the day Omar became fluent, not in grammar, but in emotion. So here's your reminder. Don't just speak English with your mouth. Speak it with your heart. Feel every word you say. Let your emotions guide your rhythm. If you're nervous, let your voice tremble honestly. That's still beautiful. People connect to truth, not to perfection. The next time you talk in English, remember this: your goal is not to impress. It's to express. Let your words carry who you are, and you will never sound afraid again. Because the moment your English begins to feel alive, fear begins to fade quietly into the background, replaced by something stronger: connection. As your English begins to carry more emotion, you start to notice something powerful. People listen differently. Their faces soften. Their eyes light up. They don't focus on your accent or your mistakes anymore. They focus on you. That's because true fluency is not about speed or vocabulary. It's about connection. Connection is the invisible thread that turns words into understanding and strangers into friends. You can feel it when you talk to someone and they truly listen, right? The air becomes lighter. Time slows down. It doesn't matter that your grammar isn't perfect. What matters is that your hearts meet halfway. That is the real purpose of language: to connect, to share, to be seen. And when you remember that, fear loses its meaning. Every time you start a conversation in English, think less about saying it right and more about feeling it right. Ask real questions, listen with care, respond with interest. When you make another person feel valued, your English instantly sounds better. Kindness has a music that grammar cannot teach. Let me tell you about a woman named Mei from China. She worked in a small cafe and was always nervous when foreign customers came in. Her English was basic, but her smile was honest. One day, a traveler asked, "How's your day?" Mei answered, "Busy, but happy. Coffee smell makes me smile." The man laughed softly and said, "That's beautiful English." She didn't know why he said that, but it was because she spoke from her heart. That single sentence was simple yet full of life. That is connection. You don't need perfect English to build connection. You need presence. When you talk, look at the person. Notice their eyes, their gestures. Use your hands. Use your laughter. Communication is more than words. It's energy, rhythm, and honesty. Even silence can speak when it's filled with warmth. Here's a practice to build this kind of fluency. Once a day, talk to someone in English for 1 minute. It can be a colleague, a friend online, or even a stranger in a comment section. Don't aim to sound perfect. Aim to make a small human moment. A smile, a thank you, a short story. Afterwards, don't rate your grammar. Rate your feeling. Did you connect? Did you share a little truth? That's success. When you focus on connection, your confidence grows quietly. You stop worrying about being judged because you realize people are not here to test you. They're here to meet you. And English becomes the bridge that makes that meeting possible. Think of English like a bridge over a river. Grammar and vocabulary are the stones, yes, but kindness and courage are the cement that holds them together. Without connection, the bridge is cold and empty. With it, it becomes alive, strong enough to carry both hearts across. So next time you speak, remember, you are not performing. You are connecting. Every word you share is a hand reaching out. Every smile you give is an open door. And with each honest moment, your fear quietly steps aside, letting your true self walk forward, free, present, and fluent. When you understand that connection is the heart of fluency, the next step is simple. You must take your English into the world. Not just into lessons, but into life. Every street, every cafe, every phone call can become a classroom. Because real confidence grows outside the notebook, in real voices, real faces, real moments. The more you bring English into your daily life, the faster it becomes a part of you. Start small. Label things around your room in English: door, light, book, chair. Talk to yourself while you cook or clean. Say out loud what you are doing. I'm cutting vegetables. I'm making coffee. These small moments tell your brain that English is not a performance. It's just another way to live. Then slowly step outside. Order coffee in English even if you're nervous. Ask a tourist if they need help. Join an online group where people share ideas. The goal is not to sound perfect. The goal is to make English real. Every real conversation teaches more than 10 grammar exercises. Let me tell you about Carlos, a security guard from Mexico. He studied English alone for years but was too shy to speak. One evening, a traveler from Australia asked him for directions. His heart raced, but he answered anyway, with simple words and a big smile. The tourist thanked him warmly. That short moment changed everything. Carlos realized that the world didn't laugh at him. It listened. From that day, he started talking to every visitor he met. In 6 months, his fear was gone. You don't need a perfect environment. You just need courage in small doses. Real-life practice gives you the one thing books can't: experience. When you use English in different places, your brain learns faster. It learns to listen, to adapt, to trust itself. Here's your challenge. Every day this week, use English once with another human being. It can be a greeting, a message, or a simple question. Don't prepare too much. Let it happen naturally. Later, write about it in a short journal. I spoke. I felt nervous. But I did it. Each line becomes a record of your progress. You will notice something beautiful. The more you practice, the less you think about mistakes. You'll begin to live in the language. And when that happens, fear fades quietly, replaced by something stronger: freedom. When you start using English in the real world, you soon realize that the battle is not on your tongue. It's in your mind. The words are already there. The grammar, the sounds, the phrases, you've learned them. But your beliefs decide how they come out. If you believe you sound bad, your body tightens and your voice hides. If you believe your words have value, your body relaxes and your voice flows. Your mindset becomes your accent. Your attitude becomes your sound. The truth is, your brain listens to you more than anyone else. Every time you say, "My English is terrible," your brain believes it and becomes afraid to try. But when you say, "I'm improving," your brain believes that too, and it opens the door for courage. The voice you use inside creates the voice you use outside. So be careful with how you speak to yourself. When fear starts whispering, "Don't speak, you'll make mistakes," answer softly. Maybe I will, but I'll learn. When you feel small, remind yourself, I am learning something powerful. I am growing every day. These are not empty words. They are mental training. Just like muscles grow with repetition, confidence grows with repetition of truth. Let's imagine Anna, a nurse from Poland. She studied English for years but avoided speaking to foreign patients. She thought, they'll laugh if I say something wrong. One day, she wrote a sentence on her mirror. My English helps people. Every morning she read it. Slowly her mindset shifted. The next time she spoke English, she wasn't focused on mistakes. She was focused on helping. Her fear melted because her purpose was bigger than her doubt. Purpose changes everything. When you speak English for something meaningful, to help, to connect, to share, the focus moves away from yourself. You stop listening to your fear and start listening to life. Here's your exercise for today. Write 3 short affirmations in English and say them every morning. Examples: I speak with confidence. My English connects me with the world. I am not perfect, but I am brave. Say them slowly with feeling. Let them shape your morning mood. Every sentence you tell yourself is a brick in the house of your mindset. Build it strong with honesty and hope. Because when your mind becomes kind, your mouth becomes free. The more you practice this, the more you'll see. Speaking English without fear isn't about learning more words. It's about believing in the ones you already have. There comes a quiet moment in every learner's journey when you realize something has changed. You open your mouth to speak, and the words come softly, naturally. Your heart still beats fast, but it's no longer fear. It's excitement. You are not translating anymore. You are not performing. You are just speaking. That moment is freedom. It doesn't arrive suddenly. It grows slowly, through every mistake, every small conversation, every brave breath. And one day you notice English is no longer a wall between you and the world. It has become your bridge. This is what you've been building all along. Not just sentences, but courage. Not just vocabulary, but identity. You have trained your mind to breathe, your heart to believe, and your voice to rise even when it shakes. Every time you chose to speak instead of staying silent, you planted a seed of confidence. Today, those seeds are beginning to bloom. Remember, fluency is not perfection. It's comfort. It's peace. It's being able to say what you feel however it comes out. It's knowing that your message matters more than your mistakes. Some days your English will flow like a river. Other days it will stumble like stones. Both are beautiful, because both mean you are alive, learning, and trying, and that's what truly matters. Here's something to hold close. Your English journey never really ends. It's not a finish line. It's a path that walks beside you. You'll meet new words, new people, new emotions. And each time you speak, you'll discover a new part of yourself. That is the real reward, not a certificate, but a stronger, freer you. Tonight, take a moment. Sit quietly and say out loud, I can speak English without fear. Feel the truth in those words. You earned them. You faced doubt, judgment, and hesitation, yet you kept going. You built something that no one can take away. A voice that carries your story, your dreams, and your courage. And whenever fear tries to return, smile and whisper, I know you. You helped me grow. Because fear was never your enemy. It was your teacher, the one that led you to this freedom. So keep speaking, keep learning, keep shining. Let your English be the language of your growth and your hope. You are no longer the person who was afraid to begin. You are the person who did. And that is what fluency truly sounds like. The sound of a free voice, your voice, speaking bravely to the world.